Wouldn't you like to get out of that tight shirt?
Yeah, I was just thinking about doing it myself. You know, it's a little bright in here. Wouldn't you like to dim it to make it a little more romantic? You know?
Oh.
Today we're going to be talking about why Cougar Tamar Braxton cannot handle rejection. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that like button. And if you can, donate $1 to the movement. Link in the description. All right. Today we're going to be talking about Tamar Braxton and why she can't handle rejection. Now, Tamar Braxton is Toni Braxton's sister, who is also a singer, and she is also a TV personality. What Tamar Braxton did was post on her Instagram that if a man doesn't touch you for 3 to 4 to 10 days, then he's gay. After she relieved backlash for making a comment, she went and deleted the comment because a lot of her fans were saying she just has a problem keeping a man. She has recently been divorced, and she has recently had a new boyfriend that is tired of sleeping with her because he doesn't want to touch her. Which is what she's saying, but it could be a different story. We yet don't know the details of what's going on. Now we're going to talk about how I feel about this. All right. Now, what you have to understand is when it comes to situations that Tamara is going through, you got to look at the fact that she is a cougar. She is an older woman coming out of a divorce. She is on the prowl. But what a lot of women don't realize nowadays is a lot of men are waking up to their nature. So they're getting sick of women attitudes very fast, especially when women are having hot and cold flashes and they're happy one minute, they're sad the next minute. All these actions can turn a man off when his Barbie doll starts looking like Chucky, which is the problem that a lot of women are facing now, is that they don't look as good as they used to their man because they're putting the men through a lot more stress. They're putting men through a lot more aggravation, especially older women. Older women are worse than the younger women because they actually have the knowledge. They know exactly how to feed in to a man's weakness and feed into a man's soul to rip it out. But they're also more desperate because they realize that their time is up and they realize that the competition is really, really high. Now, what got more older women nowadays chasing younger men is because they don't feel like or think that they're getting older. Between the makeup and the delusion that's happening online, and then you also have the illusion of them logging into the internet every day, they don't see that they're getting older because they always have someone around them to applaud. But we're going to drop some truth here. The truth is, when it comes to men, the longer a man goes without sex, the prettier the woman looks. A lot of women have an ego from men that don't get sex or have never had sex. And a lot of guys that are watching this video don't have as much sex either. You could take the ugliest guy in the world and you could give him women to have sex with every day. When he comes across a pretty woman, he won't be tempted to say she's pretty. He won't be tempted to look at her. He won't be tempted to even try to get with her because he's already had a flu of sex. So he's not as desperate. But you could also take an ugly woman and walk her through a prison yard. And when I say the ugliest girl in the world, you could walk her through a prison yard and she's going to have a lot of guys that tell her that she looks good. She's going to have a lot of guys that want to get with her because those guys are not used to having sex. This is what happens in relationships, and this is what happens with cougars. See, cougars get young guys that are just hyperactive. It's a good experience, but they're going to attach to a guy that doesn't get that much sex. And he's going to tell her what she want to hear and act a certain way until he has sex, and then he's not going to like her no more. It's the same thing as a guy who hasn't had sex in a while goes on a dating site, talks to a girl for a little bit. Next thing you know, he traveling an hour and a half to go get some booty because he hasn't had sex in a while. And as soon as he had sex, he's pumping, dumping, and he's getting out. It's all a rotating cycle. It's just going to increase more whenever you start dealing with cougars and cougars start dealing with younger men. Now, men, on that end, what you have to understand is, when it comes to an older woman, she's to be avoided at all costs. And the reason why she's to be avoided at all costs is because she's coming in to conquer. And if you don't let her get her way and she puts you through hell to get her, then she's going to have a lot of things that she's expecting out of you. She just wants you to be a boy toy. She wants you to be the guy that takes directions from her. When you reject her, she can't handle it. When you reject a cougar, she will set out to destroy you and everything about you. And she'll make sure everybody around you knows that you're a fool. Now, one thing about cougar is they keep a lot of older men underneath their belt and in their bracket. That'll turn on you as well. She's good at manipulating men to turn against a man that she doesn't like. This is why she's to be avoided, and this is why they cannot stand rejection. It's because they think they know it all. If you think a 30-year-old woman is a know-it-all or a 25-year-old woman's a know-it-all, take a cougar. Take one that's out there on the prowl. Take one that's strictly aiming for young men to seek, destroy, and have the best sex of her life. When she gets rejected, she sets out to kill. Especially if she's a retired succubus, she's going to set out to kill even harder with no remorse. They are the worst. They can't stand rejection. You may be able to get them in bed, but they're to be avoided at all costs. This is Anthony Spade. Hasta la vista.
Thanks for watching. Now hit the subscribe button.